Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week of Must Have Comic Books. Today, we are looking at the comic books coming out for October 30th, this coming Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Don't have a lot to talk about today. I am tired, but I have been gathering bunches and bunches of comics around myself. The John Byrne Fantastic Four run, the Peter Tomasi original Super Sons run, Alpha Flight, among some other things. And as many as already know, of course, Blade of the Immortal. But I'm really looking back into my older stock of comics. And although I do this list every week, I'm getting a little more into buying older books. We shall see what that holds for my weekly pull list. But we're going to get through this rather quickly because I'm pretty shot. As always, start off with DC Comics. We got Aquaman, 100-page giant, #1. As I said before, these are no longer exclusive to Walmart stores, so make sure you ask your LCS about them. Usually when I go and look, there's like 2 or 3 left on the shelf. And of course, with it being at comic book stores, now they're not too rare, and they're obviously in much better condition than they were at Walmart. A new book from DC Comics, I guess is gonna their horror line or whatever you want to call it. Basket Full of Heads, #1 by Joe Hill and Leo Mars. Love these people with one name. Cover A is by Ritiro Murakami. Nice. And cover B is by Joshua Middleton. I have no idea what this book is about. Preview for it, I think, came out last week. So pick it up. It's a #1. Who knows what may happen to it. Batman and the Outsiders Annual #1 by Brian Hill and Max Raynor. Batman Annual #4 by Tom King and George Fornes. I wouldn't think that they would give Tom King another book, but go figure. Just in time for Halloween, Ghost, 100-page giant, #1. And we also have Deceased, #6. I kind of fell off on this book, but this one here has really some sick covers. And I think this is the finale for this series. And this is by Tom Taylor and Trevor Harsine. Cover A is by Mark Brooks. Cover B is by Matina. And cover C is by Yasmin Putri. Really sick looking detective chimp right there. Pretty dope. Next up, we have Dollar Comics, Superman 75, which is the death of Superman. I guess for all those that weren't collected out in the 90s, it's a good chance to jump and grab that book. Harley #2, written and drawn by Stefan Sejic, and both covers are by Stefan Sejic. This is like the only Harley Quinn Joker book that I'm getting right now. Kind of a bit of an overkill. Speaking of Joker and overkill, Joker, Killer Smile #1 by Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. Why did these two have to do this book? I guess I'll get this one too. Cover A is by Andrea Sorrentino, and cover B is by Carrie Andrews. Sick cover, but not for me. Another book that's kind of new for DC and a different genre, The Last God #1 by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Riccardo Federici. Kai Carpenter is doing cover A, and Riccardo Federici is doing cover B. This book looks astounding. Right up my alley for sword and sorcery and all that stuff. So, I'm going to be grabbing both covers for that. Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Superman #1 by Jeff Loveness and Brad Walker. I'll get it just for Brad Walker's art. Last one for DC Comics is Wonder Woman Annual #3 by Steve Orlando and Kenneth Marion. No books from Image this week. We're going to go straight over to the indies. We got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 99 by Tom Waltz, Kevin Eastman, and Dave Watcher. Cover A is by Dave Watcher, and cover B is by Kevin Eastman. I would advise you, if you haven't known already, to be getting these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, 100's coming. It's going to be dope. Probably way overprinted, but it's good as a collectible, right? Right. New book from Valiant Comics, Roku #1 by Cullen Bunn and Ramon Box. Dave Johnson has a stunning looking face for cover A, and cover B is by Mark Lamming. Another new book, I think Economics and Comics either did an early review on this book or he was talking about it or something. Wolf and Heart #1 by Mark London and Andrea Giraldo. And that is it for our independent books. Moving over to Marvel Comics, we have Black Panther #17 by Tanase Coates and Daniel Acuna. I believe we have another symbiote Killmonger fighting the Black Panther yet again, but this time on Earth. Conan the Barbarian #10 by Jason Aaron and Mahmoud Asrar. Asad Ribic is doing cover A, and Steve McNiven is doing his best impersonation of what's my man's name? Forgot his name. It's a shame. Really nice artist from back in the days that did Wolverine. Oh man, I'm tired. Steve McNiven is doing cover B. Doctor Strange Annual #1 by Tiny Howard and Andy McDonald. I have no idea what's going on in that book. And the X book of the week is Excalibur #1 by Tiny Howard and Marcus Toe. And you know I love my Excalibur. Seems like nobody else likes that but me. For shame. Because Apocalypse is on this team for a reason. Cover A is by Mahmoud Asrar. There's a Hidden Gem variant by Alan Davis of the original Excalibur. Cover C is by Jay Anacleto, and I believe you can get that at Unknown Comics. Cover D is by Chris Anka. Cover E is by Mike Del Mundo. Cover F is by Mike McCone, and that is an incentive cover. And cover G is a design variant. I don't know why they keep doing these 50 covers, but they sell, so that's what counts, right? Fantastic Four Grand Design #1, written and drawn by Tom Scolohai, and he's doing both cover A and B. Invisible Woman #4 by Mark Waid and Matea DeLuis, and Adam Hughes gives us that very, very nice cover right there. Marvel Zombies Resurrection. Never was into Marvel Zombies, but here we go again. And this is by Philip K. Johnson and Leonard Kirk. And Hyuk Lee is giving us cover A. Jung Yoon is doing cover B, and Greg Land is doing cover C. And I believe cover C is some type of incentive or special comic variant. The Red Goblin, Red Death #1 by Patrick Gleason and Pete Woods. Cover A is by Philip Tan. Cover B, I believe, is a wraparound cover by Chris Daughtry. Ron Lim is doing cover C, and Logan Lubera is doing cover D. I like C the best, actually. Savage Avengers Annual #1. A lot of annuals this week, I guess, because the end of the year is coming. By Jerry Dugan and Ron Garney. Very nice. Mike Deodato Jr. is doing cover A, and Ron Garney is doing cover B. Excuse me. Silver Surfer Black #5 by Donnie Cates and Trad Moore. I believe this is the finale of this series, so if you have been picking it up, it would be in your best interest to grab this book. Cover A is by Trad Moore. Cover B is a Mary Jane Watson variant by Nakayama. Cover C is a Scan variant. Cover D is by Ron Lim. Cover E is by Cyan Tamore. And there's two different variants of this. One has Galactus in the surfboard, and the other one has Null in the surfboard reflection. And this is a 1 in 500 variant. True Believers X-Men, Moira McTaggart. This is a reprint of X-Men 96, which is the first appearance of Moira McTaggart. Excuse me. I have people correcting my broken X-Men English. And the last book from Marvel, and probably one of the most important books going forward, is Venom 19 by Donnie Cates and Eben Colio. Kyle Hotz is doing cover A, and Jing Hung Lee is giving us a Venomized Mary Jane Watson variant. For our covers of the week, we have the Avengers Annual #1, that's cover A, that's the Mike Deodato Jr. cover. Roku #1, that's cover A. Silver Surfer Black #5, I'm talking about the Ron Lim variant. Love that Ron Lim. Invisible Woman #5, the Adam Hughes cover. Excalibur #1, the Jay Anacleto Rogue variant. And for our #1 cover of the week, it's Venom 19 by Ji Hung Lee. Our books of the week consist of these: Basket Full of Heads #1. Gotta try to grab it, it's a #1. And if you can, pick cover A. Usually those hold its value first for #1s. Silver Surfer Black #5, which is the finale of Silver Surfer Black. And The Last God #1, which this book just, I don't know, it sings to me. Just sings to me. And of course, continuing with the Dawn of X, Excalibur #1. Oh, that is it for this week, people. And if you have listened to this before Saturday, the Halloween Comic Book Fest is on October 26th. That's this Saturday. And there will be tons of free giveaways and comic books and such, and most likely a whole lot of sales. All right, people, I will catch you the first week in November. Until then, I will catch you at the same bad time and at the same bad channel. Peace.